It just takes one moment, your life can be totally changed. That is the hook for a new book by a Bay Area author. It's called Seize Your Second Chance, a midlife memoir of resilience, rediscovery, and getting it right. Joining us live in studio, Santa Rosa resident and author Dan Reilly. Dan, it's really good to see you.
Pleasure, thank you.
Wow, you do have a story to tell. I mean, you've been through quite a lot, and a lot of it was pretty traumatic. Where do we even start with this? What was the reason to write the book in the first place?
Sure. Well, life has a way of delivering us unexpected disruptions and things that we never see coming. And although it doesn't offer do-overs, it does grant us second chances. And so I went through a series of 3 very life-defining moments in rapid succession within a 30-day period that really terrified me. And it required me to really take a step back, reflect on me. And one of the things that I wanted to do was gain some insights, lessons learned, and the things that I wanted to leave behind to my children to learn from some of these things that I had went through.
You mentioned the 3 things. You were diagnosed with cancer, you were held up at gunpoint, and then you also had a massive fire, which destroyed so many communities, especially in Santa Rosa. Let's start with the cancer diagnosis. This is something that so many families and individuals experience. And in your case, what led you to the doctor?
Thank you for that question. In May 2023, I was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, something that I was absolutely unaware of. And it started with being treated with heartburn and acid reflux that eventually led to GERD, or gastroesophageal reflux disease. And over a period of about 3 or 4 months, I was seeing my doctor and just being prescribed some medicine, the PPIs over the counter. Eventually those didn't work, and I was subject to a liquid diet only for several months before I then met with my doctor again. And what was important was I had to advocate for myself to have an endoscopy done to see what was going on.
And how are you doing today?
So as of my CT scan and blood work 2 days ago, everything looks clear. I see my doctor on Friday for confirmation, but the portal says everything's green.
Very happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. Then there is a bank robbery that happens, and you just tell us about how this unfolded.
So in September of 2017, working on a Saturday afternoon, about 15 minutes before closing, an intruder came in, and I had greeted him at the door thinking that he was a client. And at that time, he pulled out a weapon and told the bank, basically everybody in the bank, to get down on the floor.
And in your career, had you ever encountered an experience like this?
I've been a vice president in retail banking for about 22 years. This is not the first robbery I've been through, but it is the first one that brandished a weapon.
That changes everything. Having someone in my family who had a similar experience to yours, this is something that makes you feel unsafe in your life. And it's hard to escape the thoughts that go through your mind about the fact that you could have lost your life had something changed just a little bit in that moment without really any regard.
That's right.
For you, right?
That's right.
So what was the process like recovering from that?
So in that moment, things spindled. It was kind of like a kaleidoscope. And I talk very candidly about that in the book. But in order to get to that point, I needed to take a step back and really reflect on that moment, because it was very difficult to write down on paper because it made it real. But through therapy, through journaling, and then through being able to share this story 4 years later, well, it took me 4 years to write the book, but 8 years later, I'm now here talking to you about it.
In the midst of all this, we had the Tubbs fire. And as people who were in the Bay Area know at the time, it is something for which people are still recovering. And Santa Rosa was hit particularly hard. You had to be evacuated, but your house is okay, correct?
House is fine. We were evacuated at about 1:30 in the morning. Neighbors and car horns were going on. in the middle of the night. We were evacuated for 11 days, but fortunately, we are still in that same house.
Dan, what is the takeaway from all of this? Because I think that when bad things happen to good people, we sit there and we say, why me? But when 3 things happen in a row like that, in such quick succession, it must feel like you have a dark cloud over your head.
Yeah, so in that moment, I realized that there were one of 2 things I could do. 1, I could either panic, or 2, I could do something about it and persevere. And really, that's the lesson I wanted to leave behind for my children, is perseverance, don't give up, fight through it, get through it, and don't forget your medical screenings.
And don't forget to ask for help.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
You're never going to make it through well, none of us gets through this alive.
That's right. That's right.
It all ends at some point. But to get through the life part of it, you need the help of other lives, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that you did.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you're here talking to us about it. Again, it's Dan Reilly, and the book is out just today.
Today, releases today, yeah.
Congratulations again. It's called It Just Takes One Moment. No, that's not what it's called. It is called Seize Your Second Chance. And where can people get it?
Right now, you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or anywhere that you buy books.
Very good. Dan, thanks for coming and talking to us.
My pleasure. Nice meeting you.
We'll be right back.